April 15th is tax day, the last chance for prolific procrastinators to file their returns, and also a fresh opportunity for activists from both parties to rally against what they feel are unfair tax systems. Tonight at Haight Park in Rockford, several residents are meeting, in fact, right now to share their concerns on a federal tax system who they say favors billionaires and large corporations while the middle class pays their fair share. Event organizers also call on Illinois lawmakers to pass bills that would create a fairer system to invest in schools, healthcare, and infrastructure.
One thing we can do here in Illinois is push our lawmakers to pass an array of bills, ranging from a digital ad tax to a closing corporate loopholes and just protecting our Illinois budget from the policies of the federal administration.